All right, guys, this is Centipede restoration update video number 7. I've gotten a lot done in the past week, and since I last posted, I'm up to about it's pushing about 800 hours at this point. A lot of final assembly has been done. The front transmission or transaxle is in. Front engine is in. Major hurdle. I ended up having to have all new hoses made, and the older ones were too short, and one of them was leaking anyway, and which I didn't know it was. It just oil appeared on the side of it. So steering valve is in. Brake pedal, clutch pedal. I rebuilt the clutch, master cylinders. The brake pedal is in. The linkages here is in. Master cylinder is in. I moved the pressure gauge from the back where you couldn't see it up here to the front so it can be seen. So the entire steering wheel, to be able to get into the buggy, unlocks and swings away like that. And then once you get in, you just pull it back. Lock that down like that. The hoses, they wrap around this column right here to allow the steering wheel to swing out of the way. And they go all the way down, go under here. And then I've made all these blocks. That's actually oak. This is actually oak right here that very carefully, and this took probably 10 days to do all this, as far as just making these blocks and painting them and stuff. Well, maybe not that long. But, so it's the hose organization. I just always like the way that lines look when they're really neatly run. So we made all this. Comes around here. Then you get right here. So there's the hinge pin. The hoses line up over the center line of the hinge pin, and they make a nice bend, a nice consistent bend, as you know, it's kind of like that, but that bend just stays there whenever you steer. Bottom line is supply from the pump to the steering valve. That's return to tank. This one I think was right turn, and this one's left turn, and this is just the pressure signal to the gauge. Reservoir is in. That was part of the original build, of course. I added those cooling fins to it. The system is so big that it doesn't need like an oil cooler. There's plenty of cooling. And the fact that the hoses are separated now and not zip tied in just one massive bundle, that aids in cooling too, because you have air circulation around each one of those. Cylinders, rebuilt, repacked, cleaned and painted. This little tank right here is the fuel tank for the pony engine that just all it does is sits there and runs the hydraulics. So coming out of the engine, there's a coupler that has rubber and a rubber insert inside there, and just runs this 2-stage log splitter pump. And the pump, these log splitter pumps, they're actually for a log splitter for firewood. And they're 2-stage in that there's a high flow, low pressure, which is default. So there's a lot of oil flow under a lower pressure. And then when you get in a bind, like you hit a knot or something in your piece of wood that you're splitting, they'll downshift into a high pressure, low flow. So in this application, it virtually runs all the time in high flow, low pressure, unless I get in a bind where I've buried all 4 wheels. You know, you've buried all the tires down and you've dug 4 holes in the sand or something. And since the wheelbase changes all the time, this thing will self-extract it. It'll extract itself out of the holes that you've just dug, because the wheelbase changes all the time. So it hydraulically lifts itself out of the holes. It's an interesting feature that I didn't realize would happen until after I built it, but it'll just get itself unstuck. So I'm pretty happy with how this is all laid out. Of course, I'll do a little bit of zip tying. I'll probably fasten these maybe up like that, and then zip tie these off right there, just so they're not flopping so bad. But a lot neater, a lot neater than it was. Main fuel tank is in, and this is kind of cool because these came with two straws that go all the way to the bottom of the tank. There's 2 pickup lines, and they both have straws, so I can let one feed one engine, one feed the other. Then the black one is just a vent that goes up to there. This intake right here is actually for the cooling fan. These are air-cooled engines, and so they gulp a lot of air through the fan. You can see on the front engine how the fan blades are just on the other end of the alternator shaft, and so you've got fan blades right there. And when you're turning some RPM, it's really sucking some air through there. So with the front wheels, if it's a dusty situation, your trails are dusty, you're gonna be making a lot of dust, which it pretty much stays pretty low. Dust will stay pretty low to the ground, mostly go under. However, it will swirl up and get sucked into the rear one. And so this is just relocating the intake for the cooling air. It's not combustion air, it's cooling air. And so that's just going to be able to scoop air from higher up, and it'll be cleaner blowing across the heads. Nice big industrial air filters with hoses going down. So you've got your front one up here. Nice big air filter. Mufflers. Had to do an offset with the exhaust right here. Had this sent it to my friend, and who can TIG weld. He welded that up for me real nice because it's stainless and I couldn't weld it. Here's another shot of the hoses on this side. Really happy about how neat they are, and I just think it really looks cool. Oh, and I always love flappers because it kind of gives you a visual. I can look back and see, like when the rear engine's running, I'll be able to see that go up, and plus if you get out in the rain and you're not running, they just close and keep water from going down. So now I'm going to start this engine. I've already put oil in it's full of hydraulic oil. The reservoir is. I've already purged all the air. I've already cycled it probably 10-20 times and purged all the air out. So the steering is back to where it should be, but I can show you that. All right, engine's running. I'm gonna swing the steering wheel out and make it easier. And it's very, very precise. You turn a little bit. Oh, I think I didn't turn the gas on. There we go. Now the gas is on. Okay, here we go. Turn a little bit. It's very, very precise. Or you can turn fast. And this thing will turn, it'll throw you around. Get a better view. It'll turn really, really sharp. That's about it right there as far as how sharp. So, not quite 90 degrees. Give you a better look over here. fully extended. And it looks like I've got some contact right here. I'm going to have to... I don't remember that ever hitting. I just noticed that. That's not good. I may have to clearance it. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely bending it. That's not good. See if that other one hits. I bet I had these on the outside before. I don't remember that being a problem. Well, shoot. Well, I'll have to correct that. I bet, I have to go back and look at pictures, but I bet these were on this side. So I think I've reversed left and right. Although I think I marked. Yeah, that one's got a L in it, so it was here. And there's an R in that one. It's not focusing, but so well, all right. Well, that's why we're doing this, figure out the bugs and everything. This turned out pretty good. It's stenciled on there, so that's good. But yeah, that's it for now, and I'll just keep working.